Hello gentlemen, welcome back. Let me see if I get this straight. This is a 4.2 liter Ford F150. Yeah, that's what it is. This is a salvage yard transmission. And look at there, they even put a little smiley face on there for me. I'm going to go through the prep work, and then we're going to end up, once this is prepped, I'm going to end up bringing the truck in here, and we'll do the out and back in. We'll do the exchange on camera. That way we have us a F150. This two-wheel drive, by the way. Like you couldn't tell that by the tail shaft, but anyway, two-wheel drive. I did not say that, but anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and prep that. What I do, so, and you'll understand what I mean by prep work, okay? So, we're rusted a little bit on the torque converter, care less about that. What we are caring about is going to be this machine area of the torque converter. Make sure there's nothing on the pads that attach to the flex plate, okay? So, this needs to be cleaned up. Oh, that's the first piece of the puzzle. We got us a little piece of emery, maybe. All it has is a little bit of flight rust. It did rain the day that I picked it up. So we want to make sure that there ain't no major amounts of rust on it or anything like that. I feel compelled to leave that little smiley face on there. Hopefully it'll smile favorable up on me when we do the actual swap. The next one, get you in a different angle here so you can see. So the next one is going to be this contact area right here. Y'all want to clean this up, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and use emery cloth. I'm going to use power tool. And for that purpose, we're going to roll our transmission so I can actually get to it. So right there is fine. As you back a smidge. Get a handy dandy little Milwaukee sander, not a sponsor. Get us a Scotch-Brite pad, and let me see, it's kind of a bad angle again, but if you really take a look at this, imagining how this is going to sit bolted to the engine, we can get a lot of information out of this already. Starter cavity, so we know where the starter is at. We can get an idea of the threaded bolts right here. All right, so we have an idea what's happening here. Threaded bolt holes here, here. Well, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 locations that are threaded, and we will be cleaning that up as well. I'm not going to film all that right now, but anyway, clean up. The dowels need to be good and clean. Best not to hit them with a emery cloth, or unless it happens to be really fine, Scotch-Brite be better. Torque converter is fine, we leave that alone. The salvage yard already put a filter kit in it. They inspect them and then put filter kit in it, so that's been done already. But anyway, let me get this cleaned up. Now this customer here, I'm going to tell you, this customer here has got a limited amount of funds. He's an older gentleman, and I'm not going to do the seal in the back or front seal or any of that. We're not going to do any of that because there's no problem. His truck's got 220-some thousand miles on it, and simply it's slipping. I diagnosed that some days back, and just now getting around to doing the actual work. So anyway, next up is your transmission cooler lines. Of course, they just snip them up, they put plug in it. So that's what normally happens, is that the cointer plug comes loose. I'm going to go ahead and turn that out. As a matter of fact, he hauling around with that thing. We'll just use us a well, in this case here, this one came out. The other one did not. That had some thread locker on it. I'm gonna go ahead and clean all that up. We're gonna put a new thread locker on it. Let's see what size this is. Same here. There shouldn't be any other fittings other than the electrical connections that are right there. There is on the other, well, pause you up. All right, so here's a little bit of a teaching moment. I'm gonna show you this. I don't know. So, whoever messed with that transmission the last time, now I've seen something on this transmission that stuck out after the fact. When I picked it up, I didn't notice it, but it's been welded on top. Hopefully that didn't hurt it. I don't like to see that, but it is what it is. I went quite a distance to get it. So that's where we're at. But anyway, my point being, they put O-rings in it. And guys, this is a flare fitting. It's a flare fitting. You can over torque these damn things to the point where they might leak on you. So that's something to keep in mind, but an O-ring is not needed inside these fittings. You know, worst case scenario, you will replace your lines. Or if you have a tool that can make this double flare, you know, you can put a new double flare on it that'll seal it out. But anyway, pause you back up. We'll put some sealer on this, put it back in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, try to make this short and sweet. This here, as advertised, is a two-wheel drive, so that saves a lot of work. We don't have to touch exhaust or anything like that, but what we're going to be doing is the bracket up there for your fuel lines, okay? We want to take that off, unbolt that. Of course, we've got the harness that runs over the top of it. That's pretty much standard on just about any Ford like that, so we'll have to unplug that and get it cleared out of the way. It includes your oxygen sensors in the back. And by the way, note up front, safety first. I got jack stand front and back. I got all four of them under there, although it doesn't really require four of them. But anyway, I got them. Why not? I got more than that. What's happening here is, on this one here, we can take this 13 millimeter headed bolts out of the carrier bearing. And by doing that, I do believe on this particular one, this is an 8-foot bed model. I think you drop the carrier bearing. There's enough there to get the yoke out of that end of it without having to undo it in the back, I do believe. I'm not 100%, but I think it can be done. If not, well, we'll have to take the back apart. It goes without saying. So the subframe, the cross member here, I guess what they call a cross member, has to come out. And we're moving on to the front. And of course, your starter, your... oh, I guess I better take you with me. So I'll give you a look in here. So up there, that bolt right there, fuel lines, okay? You see everything else, clearly see everything else from here. Not hard to see. Right there's your plugs. Those plugs need to be undone. Kind of a duh. Here we are in the front. Right there on the side is your torque converter hole. We'll have to get these brackets here off. This is for your shift. Oh shit, shoot. I'm screaming. Sorry about that. We have to undo that shift cable right there. So, not that big of a deal really, as long as you remember to unbolt your torque converter. Right there is the starter assembly. So we'll lay that off to the side. Again, on this one here, it's not that hard to do. And right there is what I was talking about a while ago when I said about taking the plug out. If you forget and you done got this transmission stuck up there, it's kind of a holy terror to try to get fiddle around and try to get that plug out. So that's why I said that, you know. But anyway, you see from the front, looking at it from the front, you got the plug right there. So all that's gotta come out. Now there is up here on the cross member you're taking out, there is a screw on both of these heat shields. You'll have to, don't forget to take that out or it ain't gonna come down. Anyway, I'm gonna get you back here. You know, there is really no other angles to really show you, and you know what we're doing. I'll bring you back around on the torque converter. All right, I've been at it for about an hour now. Keeping in mind I'm a little bit short-winded, so excuse me. I got by the way, I did have to loosen up the drive shaft. It was like that far away. I might have managed to do it before. That's where I had the idea. But anyway, neither here nor there. Drive shaft's out. Obviously pulled the cross member out. I got the torque converter undone. I got the bolts pulled out, and that new Milwaukee ratchet is really coming in handy on these jobs because it's got such a long throw on it and a small head. It'll get in here and pull all these damn bolts out for me. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better deal right there. I got the ones on top. Those are the ones you're going to do with the big long extension. But anyway, we're about to get the lines over here. The coolant lines broke loose. I hadn't done that yet, and once I get those broke loose, we'll get the top bolts out and lift out the dipstick tube, not the dipstick tube. We're going to lift that out because it's connected up on one of the second bolt up on the side over here. That's where it's connected. So anyway, I'm going to pause you back up because I mean, really, I'm going to be here doing this. So I've noticed the fuel lines are laying off to the side. That is generally a sign that somebody's been there. Okay, I don't know what they did here. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. All I know is we got to get transmission out of this truck. So one little addition. I bought this extension here. It's made by Steelman Pro, not a sponsor. It's small numbers. 79995. That's what it is. Maybe the camera does a better job than my eyes. I don't know. Anyway, that's what it is. If you got too much money laying around, or you're doing this more than once, you might want to get you one of them. Pretty handy. So a little bit of an update. As you can see, that's where I'm at. And maybe you've noticed this too. I did a little chopping. Chop. You can get that transmission out between the exhaust, but rather than me trying to go back and forth, wiggle it out of there, it takes me about 5 minutes to fix that. It probably took me about an hour or so to get it wiggled out and then wiggled back in. Well, maybe not an hour, about 30 minutes to wiggle out and wiggle in. That right there is much faster. So no harm, no foul. But anyway, got a couple of bolts in it. It's on the jack stands. It's going to sit like that. I had to actually run neighboring town. I had to go to the store, so noticed a different shirt, I guess. Yeah, so anyway, today is going to be early day. About to knock her off. All right, let's go through here real quick. One time, wire just above, right there. We've got this bracket, this bolt right here. We got it loose. That's where the fuel lines hook up after the fact. I've got the torque converter tightened up and the little inspection cover for it. Put that back on. I haven't got the bracket on yet. I haven't got all the bolts in it yet. I got the bottom bolts in the transmission. One of them on the corner is stripped out. I didn't strip it out. It's already been stripped out. It's not going to affect the running of the transmission. We've got all the bolts to put in the top yet, including the bracket that they previously left loose. Let me flip the screen around and fold it a little bit. There's a bracket up there. I don't know if you can see it hanging or not. They left it off previously. I'm going to try to get that in there. Of course, we can't see nothing on this side because there ain't no light. I did put the oil feeds back on. I haven't plugged the wires in right here. I got the starter bolted back up. The ground's installed. I never took anything else loose. All I did is to took the ground off that stud. Remember, that's a stud. Right there is your other starter bolt. So we got that connected. And really, that's about really the major part of this. other than the only booger part of it is the bracket that they left loose up top. That's going to be a booger. That's always has been a booger on the Fords because it's part of that fuel line to get it all lined up. Once you get everything lined up just perfect, it'll all fall in place. But until that happens, you're gonna fight it a little bit. But fighting or not fighting, I'm going to go ahead and hook it back up like it was supposed to be in the first place, and we'll go from there. I don't like to not hook that bracket up. There's too many ways that the lines can rub. I'm going to show you this right here real quick. Heck, let's get out on the light. Oh, the light seems awful friggin' dim these days. I don't know what the heck's going on. Anyway. That's the bracket right there that I'm talking about. Holds the two fuel lines. It's got the wiring harness clipped into. That thing is all mingled up. Now, like I said, it wasn't hooked up the last time. I don't know what they did to it. And I think I remember it being folded, the tank being folded 90 degrees, and the rest of it's supposed to be straight. I hope that is the case. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not the one that did this, okay? I'm not the one that didn't hook it up the last time. And I'm not going to spend all day trying to fix this bracket and get it back up there. They're a booger. Once you unclip them and get the wires off of it, those are a booger to get back. I mean, it's difficult enough before, let alone some butthole taking it off or boogering it like that. That's even worse. So I'm going to try this to get it back. If I can't get it back right away, I'm going to just skip that step and call it what it is. They messed it up. I didn't mess it up. I'm not the one that did it, so I don't want to hear nothing about that. So I kept it a little bit shorter. I got my pipes welded back, or my pipe welded back in. I was able to get the bracket in, and I was able to attach the fuel lines in a proper manner. I hope you can see that. I've got both of the brackets back on, and we got the wire clipped in like it's supposed to. We got our drive shaft back in. What else did we do? What else did I not mention? Of course, we had to button up our subframe here. Our exhaust hanger is all bolted back up. The dipstick is back in. I put a little bit of gray silicone on that one. That O-ring felt, I replaced the O-ring, but it felt pretty loose. So we'll put some gray silicone on that one. And anyway, that thing is ready to come down and get some fluid. They said this thing's got massive amount of exhaust leaks, so I don't know what all is leaking on it, and that's neither here nor there. That's not my problem. That's not something we have to fix here. Now I stuck a transmission in it. Rear seal looked good, so I'm not too worried about that one. Everything else is buttoned up, so I'm gonna pause you back up, bring it down. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna let you know something. I don't care what a vehicle looks like here in my shop. I'm gonna treat every vehicle with the same amount of respect. I don't really care what the owner does to it. That's their business, not my problem. I do the best. I try to do the repair to the best of my abilities, and make sure you got no leak. It's a crying shame what you see some of the shops do. Hurry up and get it done. I don't do that. I don't hurry up and get it done. I want it done right. We want to make sure that stuff is going back the way it was from the factory, and even as you see, and as I showed you, even the stuff that it wasn't done right in the first place, I took the extra time and fixed it. I put the bracket back on the correct way. I clipped the fuel lines back in the correct way, and I'm not charging the customer for it. The quote's already been written. The quote's already been sent out to the customer. He paid for the transmission, so I'm not going to add any charges to that. I want to make sure. I want to cover myself. I want to make sure that whatever I did is not going to come back on me. I'm going to start with 6 quarts on this thing, and we'll go from there. That stuff right here is about as genuine is going to get, because it came straight from the Ford dealer. Matter of fact, that's in my area, it's Paducah Ford, and that's what it came from. no affiliation at all. Nah, just kidding. Well, not kidding about the no affiliation, but anyway, it came straight from the dealer. You know, that's our local Ford dealer. So anyway, this piggy here is ready to be started up, and I'm debating whether I'm gonna push it outside or not, because I know it was leaking pretty strong when I drove it in here, and it smells up my shop. And I still having the sinus problem. I really don't like the pungent odor it gives off. I'm gonna put it like that. I'm gonna pause you guys up and probably push it outside. Well, drop the head quartz now. I'm not so hopeful for this transmission. Transmission may be bad. I don't know how much draining they did. Of course, that thing's got quite a big pan on it, so we don't know what they drained and what they didn't drain. I do know that the yard actually, that pulled the transmission, they actually replaced the filter. I guess they don't want you to touch it. Right here, something that came from the salvage yard. I'm not too overly upset if it don't work, because I put them in straight from the remanufacturing place and it didn't work, so that's way worse. Of course, I had it through all the gears. There's, of course, well, I say that, of course, it's not of course. There's no leaks. You know, so far, I haven't seen any kind of transmission fluid go on the ground. That's a good thing. So let's stick this thing and see what you're doing. Of course, that thing ain't nowhere near hot enough, but... Well, that probably would be the reason why it ain't moving yet. They must have drained it pretty good. Some response time out of it now, guys. I mean, some good response time, I meant to say. He's actually going into gear pretty good now. Oh, it's starting to produce on the dipstick, so it's just like barely creeping up on the tip there, so. That means that thing was almost bone dry. So, ladies and gentlemen, the way it went through the gears, I could feel it on my seat. I'm going to say this transmission is going to work for however long anyway. I mean, we don't know how long it's going to work, but it's going to work. So I'm going to end the video here. Guys, appreciate it. Guys, gals, appreciate y'all watching. Don't think that we don't. Like, subscribe, leave some comments in the comment box. I will catch you with a review of the straight Milwaukee die grinder. So I'm gonna catch y'all with a review pretty quick and give you some info where you can get 10% off to buy it. So stay tuned for that one. We'll see you on the next one.